Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this episode today, I'm going to be talking about how to release a block that may be blocking you from having a better life. You have the ability and the power within inside of you to create the life that you want. And sometimes we have blocks that are running within our mind and our life that can really stop the progression of getting the life that we want. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you something that I learned that dramatically helped me achieve a much better life filled with ease and grace and happiness and a lot of good vibrations and a lot of good things that have happened to me. And the one thing, a huge block that I had in my life was shame and guilt and kind of resistance of some of the things that I've done in the past. Because I kept thinking about the past and the things that I did, and I would be like, I don't deserve, or, those things would just weigh me down. So shame and guilt and things like this, and overthinking about them, why I did it. And that word why was always coming up, right? It was like, why did I do that? How could I have done that? And here is something that I have learned to create in my mind and in my life, a discipline that I have and a perception that dramatically changed my life. And here it is. No matter what you have done in your life, it is okay. And you have the ability and the right to become whatever it is that you want. And the past has nothing to do with who you are right now. And that means if you are looking into the past, carrying some of the same stuff that I did for a really, really long time, it is getting in the way of your momentum right now. Because what matters most is your perception on who you are right now. So if you are looking at yourself as a person, a man or a woman, and those things are tied into that perception, that means those things are still within your aura, your energy field, and you're not letting them go. So in this video right here with me, you can let them go by this understanding. And I'm going to give you something to say with me today, that if you say it along with me, and if you say it, and you create an understanding with it and a concept for your life, you'll be able to let go of this block. And here it is, okay? So, you are not that person anymore. You cannot, and there's no reason to, continue to relate the consciousness that you are in now to the consciousness that you are in whenever what may have happened in the past is still within the midst of your aura. You are not that person. So what we can do is whenever we think of that situation in your life that you may not find favorable, that you may be having trouble letting go of, think about what you've learned from it. And take a look into your life and ask yourself, am I repeating any of the patterns that drove me to that place? Because if you are not, then you're really able to let it go because it turns into a lesson. And then with a wisdom and awareness, that particular thing that may have happened is transmuted into who you are now, into light, into love, into wisdom, into awareness. So take a moment with me right now while I'm talking, and I want you to think about, what did you learn from that particular subject? What did you learn from that particular thing that you may not find favorable, that you continue to think about, continue to wish that you didn't do? Because when we are wishing we didn't do it, we still are not understanding how we have evolved to the point where you are now to not do it again. So you can say to yourself, this is what I have learned, and no, I'm not repeating the same patterns, and there you go. You shined it into a diamond. You turned coal into a diamond because you are no longer going to repeat those patterns anymore. If you are still repeating the patterns, here's a moment of awareness for you. You can take the patterns that you are repeating and you can change them right now with me here. Because now, in this dialogue that we are having, you are taking that into a context into your life purposely to let go of that particular action and become aware of yourself in this given moment of who you are. If you are no longer repeating those things that you wish you didn't do, or those things that may have happened that cause other people hurt, or even caused yourself hurt, the hurt is a lesson. The pain is a lesson to guide you back onto alignment right now. Take the path of the pain and of the hurt, align yourself with the lesson and the understanding of whatever happened. It taught you something. If you find the lesson in it, you will move on from whatever it is. Whatever the hurt was that maybe drove you to that particular thing, you will transmute that as well. This isn't an overnight thing, but right now you can make a decision to look at it differently. You were in a state of consciousness then. You are now in a state of consciousness now. Take the consciousness that you have now, go back into the past with me here, take a look at it from a higher consciousness, like you're on the 15th floor and before you were on the first floor. You see a greater perspective of what happened, and I want you to bring the understanding into the forefront of your mind, into the forefront of your life, and ask yourself, what am I doing now that is correlating me to that particular thing? If there is nothing and you are fully sure and you are fully ready to move on from it, transmute it into wisdom and be grateful for the experience, because you now have understanding and a lesson running inside of you, and that is medicine for you and for the world. Your transmuting, when you transmute the things from the past into lessons, into light, into wisdom, you are creating medicine for yourself and for others. You carry within you a vibration that is transformative. And this is how we let go of the past, by not looking at it as I wish I didn't or I should have didn't. And sometimes we can even be a little afraid that we will repeat the same patterns. So trust yourself when we stand firm in the knowing that we will not do these things again, or whatever it is that brought this resonance into your life, whatever you're tying a string to about what I'm talking about. There's a lot of power in understanding why you did it, because it no longer matters. All what matters is your perception on you right now. And when you let go of those strings and you cut them with wisdom and you cut them with awareness and you bring gratitude into it and you're grateful for what you have learned and where you are in your life now, your life will become better. Your life will become better. I promise you. Well, it's a lot of times I don't promise things, but this I can promise you. When you transmute the past into awareness and understanding, your life will become better. Take a look at the past, transmute it with understanding, and you will find a better life. I know I keep repeating myself, but I hope I'm taking you somewhere with this. It's like riding a wave. And when your perception on yourself now changes, everything else around you will change. You will attract the perception that you have with yourself. For a really long time, I carried with me a lot of hurt that I caused a lot of people, and it was always on my mind. But in the process of it being on my mind, I kept transmuting it. I never looked at it as something I wish I didn't do, or why did I ever do that? Every time I did it, I was so grateful to be where I am now and who I am now and have that under my belt and have the understanding. And oh my gosh, I can't believe I ever did that, but oh my gosh, I did. And now I am here and I look at it like from the 50th floor down to the first floor, and I have all that experience and I have all that endurance from climbing those stairs, and I look at it and I'm thankful. And I look at myself and I check my patterns that I have in my life, and I make sure none of these patterns come into my life, and my life continues to get better. And the pain that I had in my life, the physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pains from some things I was doing, they are greatly diminishing and greatly ceasing. Because the road signs to guide me back onto alignment don't need to be so severe anymore. And I consistently ask for whispers instead of punches in the face. And that's the greatest gift I receive these days. I receive whispers. I receive whispers instead of like things to knock me down and pick myself up off the floor and shake it off and be like, oh, I don't want to be doing that anymore. Now it's just little nudges, little whispers, little like things that nudge me around, little things inside. I become aware of my feelings. I become aware of my convictions within myself. But it all started with transmuting a lot of the big, dense things that were in my mind and in my life. We don't need to micromanage. Oh, I did that. I stole something when I was 5 years old. You'll get to the point where you start transmuting all of that. But in the beginning, it's like the big stuff. Transmute it. It's a lesson. That's all it is. It's not right or wrong. It's simply what you had to go through as a soul to be exactly who you are right now. So in this video, while you're listening to it, I want you to call in gratitude, call in understanding, call in wisdom for what you have learned in the process up until you are right now. And I want you to take the perception of who you are right now within yourself, and I want you to evolve it into a beautiful, beautiful perception, and understand that you deserve to walk around in that perception all the time. And that is who you truly are, the greatest thing that you could possibly imagine yourself to be and do and everything and become. That is who you are, and you can do it. You have the birthright, you have the power, you have everything in your grasp to make it happen. And when your perception becomes more powerful and more aligned with who you truly are, your life will change for the better. My family, I love you. Have a great day. Be well.